So, like, how would someone benefit by doing this program? Like, why would I say, okay, I'm going to do this program because it will help me? Like, for example, to do what?
So I think the first is this course is a journey into yourself. So the first help is for yourself to deal with your own emotion, because many of the decisions we take, the direction we go in our life is a product of how we feel. And those feelings are not always accurate. Like sometimes we feel rejected, but we're not necessarily rejected, but we see and we perceive the people around us or the situations around us in that way. So cleaning out how we really feel and sorting through what I like to call our emotional inheritance, I think it's just something really good for us as individuals. And nowadays a lot of people are into self-care and self-love, and that starts with holding space for ourselves. We can pamper ourselves with massages all we want, but if we're not actually holding space to let out who we really are and how we really feel about the world, then I think we're limited in how much of our real potential for feeling healthy, happy and creative we can really tap into. So the first is for us. The second is obviously for others, because ideally we would all want to show up in the world as safe spaces for each other instead of causing each other more trauma, which is what we often tend to do accidentally or on purpose. And I think holding space for anyone, like not in a formal way of like, okay, I'm a facilitator and I'm going to hold space in a workshop or in a retreat or something like that, but even just as a mother to a child, as a father to a child, as a father to a wife, as a mother to a husband, and in every single relationship, right? Like we have so many intricate family
like
relationships, even at work, at home with our parents. It helps us to show up and hold space and be a container for love within our relationships. And I have to say that it also helps us learn how to be held. Because that is something that we don't often think about. Like we're very much like, oh, I want to hold space for others, but there's no holding space without learning how to be held. And especially in romantic relationships and parental relationships, we often feel hurt that space is not held for us. Like we want to express ourselves, and the mother or the partner or whoever says, again, you shouldn't feel like that, or you don't need to feel like that, or it's not my fault you feel like that, or anything like that. And that need to be held is not given in that moment, and it's extremely painful, and it really disrupts our relationship. So it's very important to know when to let yourself be held, to have enough courage to allow yourself to be vulnerable and actually ask to be held, because very often we get angry at people for not holding space for us, but we haven't made it exactly clear what we need from them in that moment. So we do need to learn how to ask to be held, and then we also need to learn how to deal with the pain of those moments where we do want to be held and we're not, right? Because we do
and
need
how to hold space for ourselves.
Yes, how to hold it for yourself and process the emotion, so that you don't take that disappointment, which could be sometimes, coming from a person that just doesn't have that capability. It doesn't mean they don't love you, but they just don't know how to do it. And being able to hold space for yourself brings that spaciousness into a relationship where you don't need to get angry at them or feel hurt particularly by them, but you can actually process how you feel and then move back into the relationship peacefully.
Okay, so at first when I thought about it, I thought, it would be really good, something like this for someone who wants to hold space for others, but obviously you have to go through that own inner journey of holding space for yourself to be able to do it for others.